Good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. I heard something the other day. I do believe. Not sure which day it was, but I was watching a live stream by Prepper Nation. I think it was a live stream. It could have been pre-recorded. I don't remember because he does a lot of premieres too. So, are they premieres? Yeah, they're premieres. He does a lot of those too. So anyway, in there he had said something to the effect of and I don't know if I'll get the exact words correct, but an eerie calm or a weird calm, something to that effect. And that really struck a tone with me when he said that. And it really, like, it put the finger down on exactly how it was that I had been feeling for quite some time. And it's increasing. It's getting even more so. Odd things, very odd things are going on. Not just above the skies where we live, but everywhere. It would seem almost. It's concerning. I'm just gonna be straight up. It's concerning. Let me discuss real quick about what happened here, what transpired here today. It's got me perplexed. I've lived in this area for pretty much my entire life. Know it like the back of my hand. It's very common for aircraft to fly over our town because we are right at a bunch of, I believe they call them airways. We're right at where a bunch of airways intersect because we've got Lambert, International Airport that's across the river there. We also have, on this side of the river, about 25 miles as the crow flies, Scott Air Force Base. And, it's not uncommon for aircraft to be flying over. In fact, that's very normal. And earlier today, Jenna heard kind of an odd noise, and I do have hearing issues, so I didn't pick it up as soon as she did. But then when I picked it, it was very odd, and it would be really hard for me to even try to describe the sound. I can often tell the difference whether it's like a civilian type of jet or whether it's military, simply because military has a much, much meaner kick behind it. Much deeper, much throatier. You can tell. And I couldn't put my finger on this at all. It sounded jet-ish, but I couldn't put my finger on it at all. And so I brought up Radar Box as the one that I always use first. I don't know why. That's the one that my fingers go to typing in. And I pulled up Radar Box. I'm not subscribed to any one of them or anything like that. And I pulled it up, and let me get the view over here, if I can hit the button right. And my dumb butt had this window slid over. If I wouldn't have, this wouldn't be dark like this. It would be, anyway. And that, by the way, is this aircraft here. So if anybody's thinking it was the one that's marked blocked, it wasn't. That is actually for this aircraft here. I did click on that, and it really didn't provide any kind of information other than the type of plane, and it was a really, really nice plane. I'm sure it was government of some kind. I don't know who. This is not the aircraft that we heard above us. Absolutely not. I have no idea. And what we heard above us is not on here. Now, that's not new. That's not surprising. Again, let me repeat. As the crow flies, we're about 25 miles from Scott Air Force Base. Boeing does a lot of testing out of St. Louis, and they often fly over our area when they take off to do their testing. They do a lot of work with F-15s there. I know, if I'm not mistaken, they've been busy building a bunch of F-15s for Israel. And I guess building and then training and whatnot. So from my understanding, that's commonly what's going on here. And I can tell an F-15 when I hear it because there's a particular like howl that they make when they fly. I can define by sound an F-15. But what is odd there is all of the commercial traffic rerouted around our area. We live in this little sleepy town right here. And there are planes always flying over us into St. Louis. All the time. And aside from that one weird sounding plane that we heard, and this guy, there was nothing in this area for a long while. And all of the planes that were going into the St. Louis area were kind of rerouting and curving around and going out of our area. So, I don't know. I'm not going to be real accurate with this, but I'm going to say maybe somewhere around in here is going to be Scott Air Force Base. Somewhere here. Hang on. Let me pull up, and we'll get an accurate on that. What the heck am I doing? Do. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So here we are. Scott Air Force Base is right here. Okay. So, we were to come over here. You've got Belleville. Scott would have been right around here. Okay. So Scott would be right around here. And I don't know. I don't know if they had something going on. Normally when they're doing the F-15 stuff, that's just normal everyday stuff. It's not like they have some massive military operation TFR and all of that. No, it's not even remotely. And speaking of that, I absolutely did check on that, and we were under no TFRs. There was nothing. I guess I should have mentioned that earlier. I looked and no TFRs. So I don't know. I really don't know. I do know that is very strange and not usual for around here. I don't know. I could hang on. Close the 5,000 boxes that are popped up. And, hang on. There we are. See, this is us. And look, you see, I mean, they're just shooting right over us. In our direction. They always do that. That's normal. That's the way it always is. It's normal. I just find that extremely... Oh, wait. Sorry. You guys are like, what are you talking? I can't see it. No, you can. So yeah, this is normal. This is how they always fly. Not like that. So anyway, I wanted to point that out because, I don't know, that's just kind of weird. Let's see, other things. I'm sure that you've probably heard half a dozen times by now that there's talk about a dirty bomb. And I don't know what to believe. I mean, come on. We don't really have a way of knowing anyway. The truth, that is. But I do know this. If something does pop off in the nuclear form, things are probably going to get ugly pretty quick. Now, when I say ugly pretty quick, I'm not talking about the nukes are going to start falling from the sky. No. No. I really honestly don't believe that. And even if we would wind up in a nuclear conflict, an exchange with another or other multiple countries, I really don't think it would be a mad type of scenario. I think they all know that mad thing is a bunch of BS. And it is. You would have to be some complete lunatic to commit the entire planet to destruction because of a disagreement with another nation. That would take an absolute madman. I don't even know that Kim Jong-un is that mad. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm just really being honest. I don't foresee that. Now, possibly a limited exchange, tactical weapons, possibly. Possibly. Could I see another nation, say, trying to hit D.C. metro area? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that would make a statement. That would make a statement. Again, I don't think that they would just launch them all to take out the nation. And I don't think that they have to. See, it used to be at one time in the whole nuclear deterrent scheme of things, if you will, the whole idea was to have as many missiles as the other guy, because if you by chance somehow got a jump on the other guy, however that would be, you might be able to knock their missiles out while they're still in the silos. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either, but that was part of the premise. There were several reasons why they felt like it was necessary to have an equal amount of missiles. But another factor in all of it is the simple fact that they didn't have the technology back then, especially like the guidance technology. And actually, the detection and the anti-missile technology for a while there was advance of the missiles themselves. And there was a fair amount of time that was the case. It's not so much that way anymore. But the idea behind that is if we shoot 100 missiles at them and they take out 90% of them, well, we just hit 10 targets. That was the premise behind it. That's not the case anymore. I hate to break it to people, but if there was to be a nuclear exchange right this moment, there would be no anti-missile defense. Period. It ain't happening. We don't possess an anti-missile defense system that can take out hypersonic missiles. We're working on it, but we probably got a few years to go. And I say that with sarcasm. I don't think it would be much of a challenge for China or Russia, and at this point, even North Korea, to be able to lob one in on DC. Because again, no such thing as anti-missile defense when it comes to a hypersonic missile. Not yet. So I'm not worried about some big all-encompassing nuclear war. I don't think that we're going to see that. And, yes, it's opinion. I could be wrong. You can haunt me if I am. But I'm giving you my honest opinion. I don't think that's what's on the table. Now, I didn't say in any way remotely that we ain't got troubles ahead. I think as a result of technology, nations have got much better tools to be able to harm other countries with. For instance, all they got to do is shut our grid down That can be done through a cyber attack, obviously an EMP. It could be done with physical attacks in certain locations, synchronized. It could take down the entire country. There are many things that can happen, and I do believe that we are going to face issues with our power, and I think we'll probably be facing issues with our internet. I would highly recommend that you got everything on the up and up now. Got all your preps checked, make sure your batteries are charged, go through. You know what? I don't care if you just did it. I don't care if you're somebody that's way more organized than me and actually has a list that you know, because I recommend that, although I don't do it. But I'm actually pretty good at that stuff. So I'm kind of not a person that needs a list all the time. There's a lot of things I just can periodically do. I don't need a reminder. Things like charging up batteries and stuff like that. That's just something that naturally to me, about every 1 to 2 months, I'll just be like, oh, I need to charge stuff up. And I go through and make sure everything's got a good charge, make sure everything works. So even if it's doing it off schedule, go ahead and go through the motions and check everything. Make sure you got everything good to go. Because I don't think we're far from taking another step in this conflict. What that step is going to consist of, I can't tell you. And nobody can. But I do think it's going to be a big one. And I do think that's going to be the point, essentially, of no return as far as U.S. involvement is concerned. And I'm telling you, we're not going to go through another world war where this nation, and I'm talking about the contiguous 48 states, is unaffected. Now, we can debate whether or not, where we consider 911 on this type of stuff. Pearl Harbor, that was clearly a Japanese attack. And other than 9/11, which I have a hard time pinning. I mean, I don't have a hard time pinning it on a nation, but it's not the nation; it's the government of the nation, and it's a particular sect of the government of that nation. So, and it's not wartime. It's kind of a different apples and oranges kind of thing. I really do believe that this time we will take damage here, and I don't know which way that'll come. I'm sure there's a good chance that there will be some cities that get hit. And I say cities, some targets. Let me put that, some targets. I don't know why I just went straight to cities, because that's typically not what you do. Normally you go after military assets. So, and typically that's not going to be in the middle of a city. So, anyway, that's a good way to get your people killed. As far as governments are concerned, put your military assets in among the civilian population, and that's how you kill your own people. Not a lot of countries do stuff like that. There are some that do, but not a lot of countries do stuff like that, because that is incredibly bad. Just make sure you're ready. Nobody can tell you how fast or how slow. Nobody can tell you how intense that all of this is going to come on. And, you know me, I'm always gonna have that attitude that no, don't go running around your house screaming, flailing your arms. Um, do think of some good designs though for the contest for the prettiest end is nigh sign contest. Do be doing that. I really I've got to have a good conversation with Ma'am Country Living, and we got to come up with that plan. Put it into motion. For those that don't know, contest for the prettiest, literally the prettiest, like literally prettiest, the end is nigh sign. It's going to be awesome. But anyway, I I think it's time that we tighten things up, batten down the hatches, if you will, and get ready for the big game, because I think it might be upon us. I'm not saying it is. But I will say that in the time that I have been doing the Watchman News, I am more concerned right this moment than I have ever been. And I can say that easily. I'm a bit nervous with this situation. I'm trying to watch things as closely as I can. What sucks is a lot of this stuff doesn't even have any clear actors. I mean, look at the Crimean Bridge. Zelensky himself will not take claim for what happened. Yeah, I'm not saying that Ukraine wasn't involved or anything like that, not whatsoever. But I don't think it was part of Zelensky's involvement. I think if the Ukrainian military was involved, and they very likely were, I think that it was in coordination with the United States government. So I'm telling you, we have crossed so many lines. We truly have. I'm shocked that it's been this long, and we still don't have now I lost track of where I was. Sorry, I looked down at my phone. You see how that is? Now just like I said, be ready, folks. That's all you can do. I think this is going to turn pretty quick. I really do. I don't have any tabs open. I didn't, by the time I got a chance to get everything brought up, I didn't have time really to open any up. And there's quite a few headlines over the past few days. So, be doing, obviously, I read the headlines from Friday till today. It's going to take a little bit this tonight. It's not that bad, but damn. Trying to think of anything else to add. Just, like I say, hang in there. Keep getting ready. Oh, yeah, that's something I can add. Now, I don't think there's a... Pardon me, I don't think there's a deal on it anymore, but I will go check right this moment and see. Absolutely. Let me look, see. Yeah, it's no good right now. August Farms on Amazon had potato shreds, and I think it was like $8.33 a can, if I'm not mistaken. And somebody in the Facebook group had brought it to my attention, and so I jumped on. I jumped on getting. Well, you can order 4 at a time, so I ordered 4 of them. So while I was there, grabbed another cheese blend powder and butter powder. So, man, I'm telling you what, catch those deals. when Augustin Farm runs those deals on the things like the black bean burger and the potato shreds and the powdered butter, stuff like that, man, you can't go wrong with that. You really cannot go wrong with that. If you get in on those deals that they have, you may only be able to buy like 4 at a time, but you know what? I don't think it will prevent you from buying 4 and then going and buying 4 more. I don't know. I haven't tried. But I do know, because I have done this, ordered 4 and then the next day ordered 4 more. Now, I know you can do that because I've done that. But as far as just going right back in and ordering another 4, I don't know if Amazon lets you get away with that or not. But again, that was $8.33 a can, so I couldn't say no to that. That's stupid good. So keep an eye on that stuff. Keep getting ready. Keep who knows? Who knows? I could be sitting here 3 years from now talking about some other crazy crap. We don't know. None of us know. All we can do is do our best to keep an eye out. Really, I can't think of anything else to cover that I know of. Let me take you on over. We'll go over some headlines. I may have a drink of coffee. I'm not in a hurry or nothing. Oh, man. I haven't been doing a lot of flying in the simulator. Flew some today in some pretty crappy weather in Canada. That was fun. Flew around through some mountains and to a little bitty airstrip that was like a little bitty airstrip, and it was like the rain was just horrid. I mean, you couldn't hardly see anything. We left out of there to go to another destination, and he was up to like 23,000, 24,000 feet or something like that. He still couldn't see out his windshield. It was horrible. We were flying Grand Caravans. We weren't in like fighter jets or nothing. Oh, man. Fun times. All right. Quite a few here. Again, starting with the headlines that I put out on Friday. Grave vaccine shortage prompts WHO shift. Russia won't attend Washington nuclear summit, says Bloomberg. Billionaire. Like now, by the way, I tell you about how we can hear stuff. Check this out. Right here. You probably obviously can't hear it in the mic, but we can hear that plane right now flying over. That is a Boeing 737-800WL. It is currently at 16,150 feet. Yeah, so, traveling at 410 knots. So, yeah. But what we heard earlier was very odd. Not a typical jet. And not what I'm used to hearing military either. We get a lot of the military transport and stuff like that had come through for Scott, and then, you get your big commercial heavies like that. Once in a while, F-18s, once in a while, but a lot of F-15s. The government owns a lot of, Learjet type of jets. A lot of them. Let's see. Billionaire sells private jet to escape climate activists. Good luck with that. France may face blackouts without nuclear power. 4 killed in Ukrainian strike on river crossing point, says a Kherson official. U.S. election outcome threatens Ukraine aid, says Politico. EU leaders failed to agree on gas price cap. Musk spars with ex-Russian president. Musk ventures at risk of government probe, says Bloomberg. Russia's grain harvest hits an all-time high. Musk may fire 75% of Twitter's workers, says media. Fire one for me. Kremlin speaks on end of mobilization. Germans urged to ration more gas. And Ukraine reacts to Truss's resignation. Again, this was the headlines on Friday. Interpol launches police metaverse. That's probably not a good thing. Russia reveals details of rare contact with U.S. military chief. A Ukrainian strike kills 1 journalist and injures at least 10, says a Russian official. Dr. Doom predicts worst crisis in half a century. Former Pakistan PM barred from elections. UK inflation could surge to 15%, says Bloomberg. Ukrainian military sends video warning to Belarus. EU wants to use frozen Russian assets to finance Ukraine. Russia warns it may reassess ties with UN body. EU says its gas reserves are ready for winter, but there's a catch. Ukraine struck civilian targets in Russia, says regional governor. Ukraine running out of anti-aircraft missiles, says Washington Post. Telling you, Friday had a lot of stuff. Belarus has no war aspirations, says Lukashenko. Russian should become extinct in Ukraine, says top official. Ex-Trump aide sentenced. EU seeks to lower its dependency on China. Italy's first female PM officially appointed. And we are to Saturdays. I guess that wasn't too bad. Okay. You know the rules. I get a couple of sips of coffee, a couple of vapes, cough and hack for a little bit, and then, no. I try not to. Okay. Yesterday, Kremlin reveals how often Putin takes up arms. Fauci forced to testify on social media censorship. You know, I'll tell you what, Putin probably takes up arms more often than Biden takes up ice cream cones. Just saying. Anyway, Fauci forced to testify on social media censorship. He probably just lied again. Israel attacks targets near Syrian capital, says state media. UN urges World Court, or Kurt, who cares, to address Palestine occupation. Maybe there is a World Kurt. Maybe there is one guy named Kurt that is the official World Kurt. Why not? Why not? Electric cars in Germany may fall victim to the energy crisis, says Der Spiegel. Der Spiegel. Hungarian Foreign Ministry criticizes pro-war EU. Jen's over there laughing at me. Elite U.S. unit ready to fight in Ukraine if conflict escalates, says CBS. Iran to become top buyer of Russian grain, an envoy expects. Sweden updates Turkey on concrete actions, says Reuters. As long as they aren't asphalt actions, then I'm good with concrete. Let's see. China's ruling party amends constitution. Ukraine confiscates Russian cargo ships. Elon Musk lost over $100 billion in a year, says Forbes. That's a chunk of change. Reports about Putin's threat are false, says Scholes. Let's see. Russia urges UN to prevent Ukraine's terrible provocation. An ABC News investigative journalist disappeared 6 months ago. He seems to have known a lot about American aims in Ukraine. And that's talking about, you guys, I know, have heard about this. In fact, I think I talked about it on Thursday. So, this gentleman here, James Meek. So, RT had a pretty good article on that. Oops. Ukrainian strike kills civilian in Russia, says governor. UK economic outlook slashed to negative. Energy warning issued for EU states. Turkey lambasted U.S. for bullying own ally. Venezuela's U.S.-backed interim president may be ousted next year, says media. Now, here's the thing that gets me in this. How open they are about this, right? Venezuela's U.S.-backed interim president, you know, in other words, our puppet president. But let me get this straight. If Russia buys ads on Facebook, that's election interference, right? But we can do this with Venezuela and it's not? Huh. Amazing. UAE to invest in Russian tech, says official. Former Chinese leader leaves key gathering after being spoken to. Russian city governor urges residents to leave immediately. Russia offers heating points in EU cities, winning the hearts and minds of the people. U.S.-led force might intervene in Ukraine conflict, says ex-CIA chief. Sanctioned son of Russian tycoon records "I'm a Ukrainian" video appeal or repeal. Oh, howdy, Friday. Let's see. A Hollywood actor asked Britain not to extradite Julian Assange. Zelensky calls on world to strike Russia. That, to me, that is so bizarre that, like, he thinks, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Zelensky, so I'm not into the whole Nazi thing. I'm amazed that amount of people that seem to be or don't know. I don't know whichever one, but I think a lot of them just don't know, to be honest. Why? Because, well, CNN didn't tell them. Let's see. We are to today's news. Yeah, I mean, it's sad. It truly is sad, but that's the way that it is. I mean, and it's right there in front of everybody's face. It's not hard to find out that the Ukrainian government is a neo-Nazi faction. That's piece of cake. I don't get how so many people cannot know. I mean, just the simple fact because CNN doesn't say so seems a bit bizarre to me. Let's see. Absolutely. I hope yours is as well, Friday. Let's see. German production costs hit 70-year high. Hero of Ukraine detained on treason charges, says media. Xi re-elected as Chinese Communist Party leader for third term. Which, by the way, I guess I will comment to that as well. I believe on Thursday, I read an article about, I think, or maybe not, I don't know, possibly not. But I do know I read an article about this former president of China, and I think he was a former president, and he was sitting there next to Xi Jinping, right? And he gets approached by a couple of people, and they have him get up, and, I mean, all but dragged the guy out kicking and screaming. I mean, you could tell that it was against the guy's will to leave. They weren't dragging him, but if he wouldn't have walked on his own will, they would have. I guarantee you that. And there was even a moment to where when this gentleman, he stuck his hand down towards the table to grab some papers that were on the table that was sitting between him and Xi Jinping. And even Xi Jinping reached up and slapped his hand down on top of the papers so he couldn't take them. And they escorted the man out. From my understanding, that particular person was against the idea of Xi Jinping running a third term. And so he probably had something to do with that. We may not hear much more out of that individual. I don't remember the name, but we probably won't hear too much from them. Ukraine issues plea to EU. Germany forced to slash Germany forced to slash massive rearmament plans, says media, and that's not good either. So now Germany has to cut back on replenishing their weapons because of all the weapons they have given to Ukraine, and of course with everything else going on. I mean, isn't this insane? What the world's governments are doing for a neo-Nazi regime? It's blowing my mind. It really is blowing my mind. I mean, I'm not saying that any nation should be just left to steamroll over other nations. No. There needs to be nations that work together to keep other nations in check. A lot of stuff between Russia and Ukraine. A lot of stuff. So, I'm not taking a side. Let's see. Russia and Turkey trade is soaring. Russia explains why it wants to extend ISS participation. Poll reveals chances for scandal-plagued Johnson to beat Labour. 2 dead as fighter jet crashes into house in Siberia. A new video shows moment of deadly Russian fighter bomber crash. Aluminum market braces for turmoil. Keep that in mind. A moment of Russian fighter jet crash caught on camera. Australia stonewalls torture prevention inspection, says UN. British farmers eye replacement for crops, says Guardian. energy costs will bankrupt 90% of English schools, says media. That's nuts. EU displays height of hypocrisy, says Russia. Russia still home to the super rich, says a study. EU dancing on edge of volcano with Ukraine, says French ex-president. Moscow warns Paris of dirty bomb provocation risk. Germany should go back to buying gas from Russia, says official. Erdogan proposes headscarf referendum. Pregnant women to receive free vapes. Yeah, that free e-cigs. No joke. In the UK, free e-cigs to pregnant women who smoke. While in the U.S., they're still running smear campaigns on them because they're losing big tobacco tax money. It's crazy. Erdogan outlines Turkey gas ambitions. Musk blasts hypocritical Washington Post. Explosion in Kherson kills civilian, says authorities. Oh yeah, you're going to love this one. New study claims to determine COVID-19 origin. Okay, so we got at the first paragraph, or two, we got to go there. Okay, maybe three, but the virus that caused the COVID-19 pandemic was most likely created in a laboratory, a study by German and American scientists has claimed, or claims, as this said. A team of 3 researchers concluded that SARS-CoV-2 was a genetically modified virus after comparing its structure to that of wild and laboratory-born equivalents. SARS-CoV-2 literally has fingerprints of genetic manipulations, according to a preprint released by Valentin Brudel of Germany's Würzburg University, Alex Washburn of the U.S.-based Selva Analytics Research Center, and Antonius Van Dongen of Duke University, also in the U.S. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't we telling you that 2 years ago? And not based upon my own professional knowledge, because I have none when it comes to this stuff. But because if I want to learn about golf, I go to a golfer. If I want to learn about baseball, I'll go to a baseball player. If I want to learn about viruses, well, I'll probably go to Peak Prosperity. And he came out right in time and did a bang-up job of explaining it to us and was on target the entire time. The entire time. He was smack on target. I don't take any credit for the things I was saying at that time because I was getting everything from Peak Prosperity. Anyway, we were saying this too probably almost 3 years at this point ago. And, wow. Sad. Think of all the channels that got strikes, community guideline strikes, and I mean, just all, and that stuff's economic damage, folks, not to us, because even though we're supposed to be monetized, we don't make nothing. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. You would think that folks could go after Google/YouTube for that, because there was monetary loss. I mean, that's what it takes for you to litigate with someone else. You have to be able to prove a loss. Well, at this point, I think they can easily prove a loss. Now, don't misunderstand me. It's still going to take a hell of a lot of money and a hell of a team of lawyers, but they've got cause. That's for sure. Anyway, I digress. Salman Rushdie's agent provides update on writer's health post-attack. And I probably said his name wrong. Not intentionally. Eco-vandals target another historic painting. I wish they would stop that. Again, I am in favor of civil disobedience. I don't got a problem with civil disobedience. It is what it is. It's called protest. But I don't think that should involve destroying things like this. That's not theirs. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that's not theirs, okay, so if you've got a problem, go after the person causing the problem. Van Gogh didn't do that. Van Gogh, and it wasn't, I don't know, it could have been Van Gogh, I don't know, but, Van Gogh is not responsible for your climate quarrels. Not whatsoever. So, Van Gogh away from the paintings and leave them alone. I don't know, that just bothers me, and I'm not an art person, not even remotely. I'm not into art at all. I mean, I enjoy it, don't get me wrong, and I look at art, I respect it, and stuff like that, but you're not probably going to see me going to a museum to see paintings. No, I didn't. I was there. I had to be there. I have to say that. When I did pest control, I did an art place. So I have been in museums. I used to be in a museum every month, once a month. So, but I wasn't there to admire the paintings, although I did walk around and check stuff out. I'd be lying to say I didn't. Some of the stuff was kind of cool. So, Mount Vernon, Illinois. I can't even remember the place now off the top of my head, the name of the place. But that's where it's at, Mount Vernon, Illinois. They've got a cool little place down there. I don't know what the hell you want to call it. I don't think it's a museum. I forget what they call it. Let's see. They always do art stuff there. Gallery, maybe? Gallery? I don't think they call it a gallery, though. I can't remember. Ah, damn it. I hate that. Okay, 1 second. I gotta know now. Mount Vernon Art. Cedarhurst Center. Well, they called it a center, but it seems like... Yeah, okay. Cedarhurst Center for the Arts. There you go. There you go. And it's an arts institution. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. I know you guys didn't give a flying F about that, but I have been to art showings and didn't get kicked out. But I had to make sure I drank with my pinky up. Anything else would have been unacceptable. No, they were really cool. I enjoyed doing that place. And they had this house. I got to tell you about this house. So, like, the owner, well, yeah. I think he had passed away by the time I was doing pest control there. I could be mistaken, but I think the original owner had passed. Anyway, had this gorgeous house that wasn't too far from the art place, the gallery thing, whatever, big damn building. And this home, oh my goodness. It was so gorgeous. And it's not really, I mean, it actually was kind of big. The layout of it was just incredible. And the whole back side of the house was glass. Like the entire damn back side. And he had a nice little pond back there. And then he also had a pool outside. He had a hot tub inside. I mean, dude, this place was nice. I mean, nice. So, but I know that the original owner lived there, and then I think he had passed away, and then they used the house for guests. They use it for a guest house. I also do think that they do some. I think I do think that they use the nursery because there's a children's nursery there, and there's meeting rooms and all kinds of stuff in there. It's like a big house. Anyway, I know you didn't give a damn about any of what I just talked about. Oh, it's okay. UK ready to assist in resolving Ukraine conflict, says Defense Secretary. Macron calls for peace on Ukraine's terms. Kiev denies Moscow's dirty bomb allegations. Boris Johnson pulls out of UK PM contest. Iran to supply gas turbines to Russia. RT suspends host after disgusting remarks about Ukrainian children. And that's the headline. See, and you got a bonus. You got to hear my art stories. Oh, wow. I just looked over the email, and apparently I've won a $1,234 instant grand prize. Wow, I better take them up on that right away. I don't know what it is today. I've been getting a ton of crap spam like this. It's not to me, though. It's to the website address. Oh, well. Anyway. Really don't know of anything else. Just like I said, keep a close eye on things. Run through the stuff. Do the things. Make sure stuff is charged up, ready to go, good to go. I got that heater video done and out. Hopefully, folks. Hopefully that helped some folks. Hopefully that'll be the answer for some folks. I think we better be about as ready as we can get. And I think we need to be able to dot as many I's and cross as many T's as possible. I think we better damn well be able to provide our own heat and obviously food, ability to cook, all the things. I really do think it's about game time. I'm not saying it's going to be something that goes on forever or whatever. Hey, we could get hit with a cyber attack and the nation could be down for a week or 2 weeks as far as the grid, right? And it could come back up. We don't know. We don't. But there is one thing we can know, and that is how it is that we can respond to whatever it is that happens. We can know that. So I would highly recommend people focus on that. So, anyway, I am going to get out of here. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it again. I appreciate everybody coming tonight. I hope to see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.